Hey everyone, it's Chris again here, back with another design video. This time I really want to focus on whether or not you really need to learn to code to be a successful UX designer. Another day and another video on asking, should designers learn to code? It's really rather simple. If you're a UX designer that is interested in learning how to code, go for it. If you're a UX designer and you're worried you're going to fall behind because you can't code or have no interest, fret not. You might have read Marcelo Ordenes' piece, Should UX Designers Learn to Code? Absolutely. If you haven't, I'll provide a link in the description and I would recommend that you go and read it. The suggestions are compelling and it's evident that Marcelo has the natural inclination and curiosity to want to understand what goes on behind the scenes. He goes on to say, my particular interest in how things work didn't allow me to stand still, and as a young kid, I was already pulling apart all my toys to see how they were made, ruining them completely of course. Whilst I did pull apart my toys at a young age, it did not eventually lead to me wanting to learn C++ or Python. I did try to learn BASIC when I was much younger on a ZX Spectrum Plus 2, but I fear I've already said too much and revealed my age. Reasons, valid as they are for some individuals, are not reason enough for me to want to pursue coding in any capacity. I have tried in the past, but even then as I scrambled to wrap my head around JavaScript, I knew that I would never be competent enough to code at a professional level. Marcelo believes he benefited as it took him out of his comfort zone. It also helped him to empathise better. He gained more experience and it changed his brain. It all sounds super beneficial and could lead to you becoming an elusive unicorn, so I want to address each point. Point number 1, your comfort zone. There are a number of ways in which we can step out of our comfort zone, but I personally wouldn't consider coding to be one of them. I have written before on how fragmented the UX discipline is currently. Learning to code, or coding becoming part of the UX discipline itself, further muddies the water and dilutes what I consider our core principle, understanding users. If you're a UX designer, consider what you need to do on a daily basis. You probably carry out a lot of UI work, organise and interview participants, maybe even run workshops. The list can seem endless at times. The thought of adding any level of coding to the mix would be enough to make me cry myself to sleep at night. I would much rather step out of my comfort zone by continuously working on applicable skills that make me a better UX designer. Designers Get Uncomfortable by Benek Lusevsky is a great read on doing things you may never be prepared for as a designer. 2. You'll become better at empathizing. Whilst coding is certainly tangentially related to UX design, I do not feel that I would be a better UX designer because I've spent time myself learning how my favourite app is built, or building rudimentary projects at the weekend for that matter. What I do think makes me better at empathizing with developers in particular is working alongside them, talking to them on a daily basis. You'll gain a very high level understanding of constraints and possibilities, and this has always been enough in any design capacity I have been a part of. Thankfully, using tools such as Figma or Zeppelin has bridged much of the communication chasm for many designers and developers. But in order to go further, we have to understand our development team, much like we would try to better understand our users. Working on updating your process? Invite some developers to join. Have an assumption about how easy a feature is to implement? Don't assume. Talk to the development team. Simply by having open communications between teams within the workplace will allow you to better empathize, all without you writing a single line of JavaScript. Number 3, gained experience. Choosing what to do in our free time, or choosing what to do in pursuit of bettering our career selves, can be a difficult choice to make. I spent most of my early 20s trying to figure out if I wanted to be a front-end developer. No prizes for guessing how that panned out. And my late 20s deciding that I wanted to be a UX designer, because I love problem solving and helping people. Throw in other commitments like family, friends, exercise and your own leisure time, and you have to be pretty damn sure what it is you want to spend your limited time on. It's not easy, but picking something you want to learn that you haven't learned before and sticking with it is a noble pursuit. Number 4, changing your brain. There is evidence to suggest that coding changes your mental models and helps strengthen the brain. I can't vouch for this, as I wrote my last piece of code a number of years ago, so I can only imagine my brain is incredibly soft right now, but I'm okay with that. This is definitely one point from Marcelo's article that I agree with, however. If we spend the time learning something that goes back to point 1, taking us out of our comfort zone, then we will absolutely look at the world differently. Will learning to code make you a better UX designer? Possibly, but in most circumstances, probably not. Are you likely to miss out on a UX designer position because you can't code? Very unlikely. This may of course change in the future, but for now, UX designers are needed for their skill set and developers theirs. As a UX designer, should you learn to code because that's what you choose to do in your free time? Absolutely. I personally would rather spend time participating in online challenges, speaking to users more, polishing my UI skills, asking lots of questions and reading as much as I can. It could very well be the case that you do all of that in addition to coding, but I do not see how I could possibly fit it into my current learning mix. Fundamentally, however, if you take anything from this video, the most important thing is that whatever you do in your spare time, whether to improve yourself or to improve your ability to get a job, it's entirely up to you. If you've watched any of my videos before, or maybe this is your first time, please feel free to hit that like button and press subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. I try to release videos like this on a weekly basis, and by all means leave a comment and let me know what type of videos you would like to see in the future. Stay safe.